Hello, and welcome to FODES, the Future of Design and Engineering Software podcast. My name is Rupinder Tara. On this show, we will have guests that will discuss tools and technology that engineers will find interesting and useful. Thanks for meeting with us. I was very curious to hear about what FIU has to offer, because tell you the truth, I was still surprised when I got an email. You guys have a very good marketing program, FIU, saying we have a whole AI program. I had to look up FIU. All we hear about is AI coming out of Stanford and MIT, right? So tell me more about how you got on.
I joined FIU 2019. Yeah. So when I joined during that time, I started to see from the day one that we are talking about AI. In the beginning, I joined like electrical and computer engineering, and then I moved to the computer science because they want to inherit on the cybersecurity people there. And it fits me more because I have more like a computer science background. Basically, my undergrad and everything is computer science. When I was even in any department, I was seeing that they're trying to see from that 2019, not now, that how they should have AI in their curriculum. Because most of these professors in their research, they need this kind of AI. They're using many different ways. And as a cybersecurity researcher, I was using it from day one. It's from 2010, maybe from a different tool point of view, but it was there. Then over the time, we have seen like while computer science is providing the true picture of AI, the basics, the fundamentals, more like algorithmic and different views, but different other departments, especially within this College of Engineering and Computing, they are having a specialized courses with that particular like a discipline. That is basically making this thing like we are well ahead of this, like I think from many other universities in this like a direction. And I believe their success is also maybe found through their performance in like a research. And we are then like, although we are maybe like a large student in a number, but by age, we are just like a little over 50 years, but we are doing really good compared to many other universities in the state. We may be in the highest in the per faculty research money in this. We are doing really good. I believe the reason is one of the reasons is we are with the emerging technology, maybe little ahead than others.
It's just a matter of time if you keep turning out AI ready people into the workforce, especially engineers. I think this is you're definitely going to rise up in the rankings. I don't know if there is a ranking for AI. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. You were educated initially in Bangladesh, I believe.
The university is very well known as Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology. It is considered as the best technology university in Bangladesh. I was there in long years back, maybe 20 years back. I graduated from there as a bachelor's. Then I did my master's there then I moved to US. Especially I wanted to do like a good quality research, and I thought that this is the best place to do it. I came here in 2010. I started my PhD. It was in cybersecurity because somehow I was very interested from like a beginning. Like I was choosing like, okay, I want to do the PhD in cybersecurity. Although my master's was in distributed system, more towards the networking, but I wanted to move to cybersecurity. I believe I made a very good decision. That was basically ultimately now I can see myself here. And what I used to do during my master, like a PhD, that was the application of formal synthesis, one branch of like artificial intelligence, where we use like a formal constraints for decision making. That was my beginning. During the initial period of time, I didn't use machine learning a lot. Mostly I tried to avoid it. But once I became a faculty in 2015, then my students started to use this formal and machine learning together as a hybrid. And over the time, more towards the generative AI and other group of stuff, we are trying to solve different cybersecurity problems. This is basically, we work to solve some security problems, resiliency problems. Now, what is the best way to solve it? Since AI has different branches, and since we do more like a decision-making stuff, more like analytics, we found AI is the perfect tool for us. We have been like, my lab have been almost like more than 10 years of experience in their research.
Did you say you've been in 10 years into AI? People don't.
Yeah, I think from 2010, so you can say more than 15
15 years. Most people don't know it's that old. AI is that old. They just associate AI with ChatGPT. But things are moving very fast, and you're probably really good at keeping up. Tell me more about this AI summit. Were you presenting, attending?
I wasn't presenting there. One of my colleagues was presenting. I was involved a little late. Yeah, I didn't present because my application was basically AI in cybersecurity. We see the problem in both like a direction. But one of my colleagues presented his experience with like AI in his research in civil, especially like a flood prediction and few other stuffs he did there. He's doing more like a physics-based modeling, but he's trying to show like how this AI can be like a part of it. Like AI can be like a source of a tool, a new tool that can make those analysis more like a practical, maybe like a more like a efficient when you may not have enough like a background or mathematical model of that system. We also do very similar things, but from a cybersecurity point of view, I was there basically and also mine. We tried to represent for the international university in that particular like a summit. And we found that people from different like arenas, they came there. Most of them might be more or less like education point of view, research driven people were there too. But I really love to see that people are also using AI in athletics, many other fields. Actually, like I try to see that how the training and others, how that actually AI can be a big part of it. I didn't get that point very well, but I really like that. The AI is basically a process.
AI seems to be everywhere. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It was popular a while back called Moneyball, where Brad Pitt played a role of a coach, and he was totally into data analytics. And he created a team of misfits. He got them at bargain rates, but he chose them based on how well they performed according to this really obscure statistics. But I think nowadays he would have used AI to do all that research.
People are doing that many days before, but may not be exactly AI, but they are trying to like a data like it. But I think AI gives us a pattern, which is formation of a team, and give us in the long run the best like a, and we believe this is many people are doing now.
You said your colleague had a shape oriented or shape AI that was able to handle shapes, just like LLMs handle language. His AI actually can analyze it.
He is basically the researcher of doing that. But I was trying to say like one of my colleagues who presented in that summit, he presented about like a flood monitoring, flood management, how AI can be useful. Usually do like a physics-based modeling, but he's trying to show like how AI can be like another tool to do that. So he's basically now trying to use AI. Of course, he's new there, but we are very like happy to see that he's trying to show like how that can be useful. And we thought that people might be more like interested to know that at the time the agenda was already done. So I did my work there, especially about AI security.
I've got to ask you about security too, because now being a white hat, as it were, as opposed to a black hat, you have a part. I'm assuming you are a white hat, not a black hat, that you're not on the good side of the hackers and not the bad side. But it's got to be a really difficult job now, right? Because AI can just like brute force in their way into generating passwords and getting around the normal safeguards, correct?
Fortunately, although during my research, I was a little bit like guided more like focused on one area, but when I became a faculty, throughout the time, I am actually widening my area over the time. That make it easy for me to answer this question. The particular point you are saying like a password, and this is more like towards the cryptography. One of my students was doing post-quantum cryptography. This quantum world, this is where we are moving forward. Now machines have a lot of like a capacity. This brute force for such a like a powerful machine is very simple. The things that a regular machine cannot do in 30 years, that this quantum machine can do like a few hours or even less. Our crypto systems are getting like traditional crypto systems are getting like what do you call it? So over the time, these quantum machines might be with many people, and especially those nation state attackers that is backed by national money. Those attackers can actually spend enough power to get like many like a crypto keys to get into different important systems that might be maybe a national security problem for many countries, including US. I believe we are working on that. Many people have like a totally post-quantum like a crypto. So this field is now getting rich, and I believe we are already prepared against such situation. But what AI trying to like make things problem. For example, the thing that you are saying about black hat or something, can AI, you know that AI tools that can generate code, am I right? They can generate code that someone may need days to create, that can create code like in a few seconds, kind of. It is mostly correctly doing that job, mostly. Of course, when you are doing something new, there may be a lot of debugging, many other things might be needed, but your job might be now turned into like a 1 out of 10, like a, I think it will be like a 99% time will be reduced. 10-day job might be like a 2 hours job now, even easier. The people who may not, we think that the attackers are intelligent. They are intelligent. They have a lot of technical knowledge, but there can be now attackers who may not have that much knowledge. They're using these AI tools, creating the malware, and then nothing can happen. They can use this malware to do launch attacks. That's why there's like a solution for that. Then I want to talk. Maybe it might be interesting. The point was like this GPT tools or other AI tools, they know that it is possible. So they try to create like a fine tuning and others not to give answer to those like a questions, like a malware or something. If such a code they want to have, they want to resist that through a fine tuning that also having after like a later, like a, what do you call it, plugin, like a security prompt, understanding that this prompt is not secure. I cannot give this result. But one of our research, we are trying to show that this is not enough. This can be jailbroken. This is a very jailbreaking is like one of the like a known vulnerability of large language models. You can ask a question in a different way so that you start to giving answer. Like it's sort of engineering kind of.
You can almost cajole it into giving you the right answer, even though it might not want to it.
That we are showing now, and we are almost our work is done. We are going to submit this paper like very soon, maybe in 2 weeks. We have shown most of the tools, they can do the job. Almost like a 95% time, it was without simple margin. Like a simple way to use your brain, almost like a schooler can do the job, schoolboy, even like a middle schooler can do that job. It was so simple to do this. But of course, you need to know how to jailbreak. But point is, if someone create this jailbreaking like a generator who will be online, open source, you can use them to create those jailbreaking commands and then get your malware.
Yeah. Now, I promise I'll get back to the real subject soon, but this is just very interesting. I'm going to just ask one more question. Security, because it seems to me, especially after listening to you, that the bad guys have the advantage and the good guys are now in the defensive. Would you say that's correct?
I should say somewhere to say yes, but I have also another answer, no. Of course, as like an educator, as like a researcher, our students, we try our best to get ahead of these attackers. Since, of course, this needs funding, many other sources, of course, industry funding, federal agencies, they're also funding us. But this is something, that's why recently my research is mainly LLM security. I am doing like how I can make LLM vulnerable. I'm trying to see that, although this looks like a bad person point of view, but we have to understand their vulnerability so that we can make the thing secure. When I know my like problems, I understand how should be the countermeasures. That's why this analysis is very important. And my lab name is also like that, analytics for cyber defense. To defend, you need to analyze the attack first, understand the vulnerability. I believe if we know these vulnerabilities before the attackers are looking into it, it will be easier to defend earlier. We need to understand the vulnerability before. We should not let them to know our vulnerability before us. This is actually the most important part. There is like a zero-day attack, that is nobody knows. So we should understand these zero-day attacks are not there. Secondly, our system should be resilient against such situation. We may have a defense in depth, different group level of like a checking. For example, the way we are going to get this like a malware by fooling these large language models, we can have the way it works. In the process, maybe large language model will be in the process several times they are in use. We may have a way to understand that things are not getting well. It is going that route to give up malware. There's some sort of like understanding intelligence should be there, fine-tuned intelligence that can tell us, okay, these things, bad things are going to happen. I think if we can understand our vulnerabilities, our shortcomings earlier than the attackers, we are well ahead there. But truly, we need to spend more effort than attackers because of these AI tools.
Now, about AI and engineering, I got to preface my question because it wasn't that long ago, maybe only 3 years ago, ChatGPT was just getting famous. that AI was shunned by universities and colleges because it was the way that students cheated. Everyone's using AI to cheat on their essay questions and do their homework. And for a while there, colleges rebelled against use of AI. This was not going to happen. And here we are today, and it's being embraced as a instructional, as a tool, just another tool that you could use, like the internet is and the computers were, right? How would you say that's happened? And you were there for this whole time at FIU.
FIU, we are yet not to allow the students to use the AI tools, but we maybe differently, separately in different courses, depending on the professor, they're trying to see that how they can their curriculum or the assignment in a way that using these tools may not help a lot. Maybe using these tools might be an easier way to search the internet, not giving them the solution. But it is really tough to get there easily. The main challenge, and that was also in the AI summit, people are talking about it. Some people are saying that, okay, we cannot allow that easily because there are needs basic, because we still say that these tools have, we cannot depend on them fully. We need to validate before using them. Validate their answer, their response. We need to know that what it is and how to validate. What are the points to validate that? Some basic knowledge we must have before knowing that the solutions is applicable. Job of 10 people, it might be a job of 2 people now because of these tools. But these 2 people needs to be enough knowledgeable to understand that this is not correct or this is correct. I need to do this changes to make it correct. I cannot rely on it. Hallucination this is the natural problem of this LLM, this large language models and other stuff. We cannot rely on them when they can hallucinate often. Even if this problem is something that looks very new or something that looks very confusing, they can actually give us an answer. The answer may look good, but may not be the right for the particular query. We need the people who knows the basic. The hardest part is when we have many courses, we have many programs even.
Yeah, I think FIU has about 130 different programs.
Even for cybersecurity, you have programs, AI, cybersecurity in master's level, BS level, and many different things we are doing. And even for IT and others. But all where we try to use AI, we are not, if I try to say that AI is not for computer scientists only, AI for all, something. So we are trying to make AI to provide this, all the students from who are graduating, they will be able to understand what is AI, how to use it, and how to use it. So that's the goal. And we are actually moving there very quickly, very quickly. I hope that we are doing. But the problem is about this using of ChatGPT. The main challenge, how we can make this student to learn. So it will be a big challenge, but we are going there slowly. We cannot stop that. I see that it is hard to stop. But we are trying to have, I believe, more in-person exams, in-person hand-on things are very useful. When you do hand-on things, actually you are getting help for ChatGPT or something, but things are being made by you. There is some kind of learning is by default there. And also if you can do something in the lab, more, if any kind of exam, any kind of essay you need to write on some problem, you are trying to write some problem making, try to give a solution. If they can use their brain, I think that's really important. It doesn't mean that source of information coming from different places, but don't get the solution, get the information that you can use, you can do the engineering, get your solution back. But I believe we cannot say that you cannot use ChatGPT that long. We need to embrace it.
As an engineer, I have not found LLMs useful for reliable information. But in your school of computer science, though, I imagine it must be extremely, how should I say, tempting that I'm sure a lot of students are generating code that is virtually indistinguishable from code they would generate themselves. I would find it impossible to police that situation. I can understand if you're an English professor and you have them write an essay and you can tell, hey, this is way too good for this student to have written. But how on earth do you tell that it's generated code from AI?
There are tools to make AI generated things more human. There are tools like that. And if these people are spending some time with these students, they know that if I do such thing, add this group of patches in my code, it may look like human generate. The best complex part is done. I shouldn't say it on record. That's why we love to see that students are writing code maybe in front of us, doing solving some problem. Because I believe basic knowledge is important to my understanding to validate whether something is wrong, incorrect or not. And also, as a human being, our memories for long, and most of the time from our childhood to till now, can connect something. And maybe some of our expertise on some of the particular area, and this works well. But for the large language model, sometimes they are a little bit like the time they were trained. After that, you need to feed the data again to train them for something. At the same time, sometimes they forget about the previous thing, very important thing. They're more towards their newer stuff, which may not be exact or correct. Judgment is not there a lot. You are very much relying on something, how it is being trained or how it is being learned about this problem that you just asked that LLM to solve. See, it is giving you an answer, but how I know that can solve my problem, especially for the critical in healthcare, for example. Decision making for the patient. Many things are easily possible by this to diagnose on something, but can we rely on them? I don't think it should not be now. If you want to rely, that should be very much fine-tuned, and even there should be doctors to validate that.
I would imagine in your shoes, I would want to evaluate their code on a different level, like maybe on its elegance, as they say, compactness or its economy or something, some other distinction, because anybody can write basically a program and AI can probably do it better than a beginning programmer. But there needs to be AI, if used as a tool, you should be able to refine the code. You should be able to judge the code. You should be able to point out maybe the differences in structure rather than the code itself. This is like my calculator, as opposed to you're too young to remember slide rules. But slide rules, when they gave way to calculators, was essentially a lot of professors were tearing their hairs out because, oh no, the students aren't going to know how to do basics. They'll forget the analogness of mathematics. They'll only remember that they only know the digital, and all this tribal knowledge, as it were, instinct would be lost on them. There's a lot of a gnashing and hand-wringing over that.
But still, I think the kids, they're trained the way that how to do this multiplication, how to use the round. The basics are still there, but they start to use the calculator in a way that this happen. I believe basics should be there, but the time frame can be shortened. Maybe they can learn something very quicker than earlier. Maybe 4 years we need to learn that. They can do it in 2 years, 1 year with this kind of situation. But there should be something building block. I don't want to see someone just in the top without having this layer. That is very dangerous to me. If this is malfunctioning, this layer is just getting stupid.
Where I see this the most is GPS. If I go somewhere using GPS, I'll have absolutely no lay of the land. I will not understand where I am, except for how to get there. Once I get there, I will have lost my sense of direction, and I won't know which way is north. I used to be able to do that with maps, but with maps, because you have a big picture, I used to arrive at a place I know where I was in position to the sun and the stars or the compass.
I think the same problem everyone now. Same problem, just GPS dependent now.
So how is it used in the school of engineering? I'm a mechanical engineer. So I'm curious if AI, has it all implemented in the disciplines?
Now the idea is that there's like an AI minor, like a program here. This will be like a 12 hour course. But that particular department, if I'm like a mechanical engineer, at the part mechanical engineering student, that student will take 9 and 3 basic things like a normal machine learning, like generative AI, this group of courses they will take. But one course will be that is specific to mechanical engineering, how to use the AI in mechanical engineering. That will give them a degree like with an AI mind for bachelor student. This is basically happening, I think, by like next year. And so this is the
disciplines would have a specific course.
This is easier for us to use because if you don't like an answer, I know that I need to change my query. I think if the answer is not correct, it doesn't look like a good that solve my problem. Because some knowledge, I can change, giving more properties, more characteristics in my query to get this like a more something that I want. But if someone has like a less knowledge, then it will be really tough. They will rely on whatever they.
And it's not like my calculator. Calculator is going to give me a right answer 100% of the time. I think that quickly that resistance to calculators went away, like almost over, certainly over my 4 years in school. But it's not like that. AI can be downright dangerous.
Yeah, that's the point. I see an agency is more motivated to Department of Defense or something. They want to see that how your like a AI is validated. Some way the results are proven. You cannot only allowed to use AI in your control. How you can say that this has been validated or proven to be within the bounding box. Some research is always trying to see how we can validate, or we can say that the results will within our physics, they have some kind of like a safe range where they can run, they can efficiently, they can work. There is no danger in anything. How you can make them safe and secure. So safely, you can rely on those AI-driven controls, any kind of like a mechanism to ensuring that security, safety is one of the like the research goal that has been like in the last 3 to 5 years. We have an AI-ready graduate. So we want to see that our graduates, BS or MS, PhD, of course, PhD, they are mostly used like a very much deep AI stuff. They are doing most of them. But our graduates, we want them to be AI ready. So that these students, when they will go for like a job market and other places, they are aware of AI. They know how to use AI. They know how to use AI properly, efficiently. This is our goal. And through the curriculum, we can ensure that. Of course, we need like a good people to establish this curriculum. So we recruit accordingly for sure, certainly. But in the research frame, where we want to see our master's, PhD graduate, when they do their dissertation, their research are very high qualified. They can actually contribute to the AI, security of AI, resiliency of AI, different use cases of AI in different engineering framework. Our recent faculty, I can see even in my department, especially science, we had almost like around 6 faculty we newly actually joined. So we see them, all of them basically, they are using AI directly, or they are doing research in AI with AI, or they are applying AI in their like research. So This is something by default is happening. And 5 of them are just fresh graduate. They just did their PhD. So they are built with AI and they came here. Now they will build their students to do like the real contributions in this world of AI. And in my group, we are doing more about applying AI to secure systems. For example, one of our work was drone security. Drone is the one kind of cyber physical systems and very emerging technology. If you want to use drone in different critical mission, including even Amazon can have a drone for like a delivery and others, how you can ensure that it is not like get compromised. It can be compromised. Many ways this can possible. Many different researchers have shown that from 2014, I believe. They shown that this is possible. GPS is one of them. If your GPS is wrong, giving incorrect data, you can get to your destination. How we can make them secure? One of the natural idea was using machine learning and the network layer to make them secure. But we try to go in an even deeper level because our supply chain is not secure. Drone can have a compromised hardware Trojan are possible. How you can secure it? We need to understand the security lower level. That is where the power electronics, where the motors are working. To understand that, we need to use the side channel also. Side channel means your drone, when it is under attack, it will be vibrating more. Or maybe it is generating more like a temperature, more heat. Or maybe it is creating like a more noise. Maybe like draining too much like a voltage or energy, power. Knowing, understand the pattern. Machine learning tools are very important. See the similarity, pattern recognition, especially social feature engineering. We can see a drone when it gets like attack, we can detect them. As well as we can understand which kind of attack was it. We can try to rebuild the signal to get it to the original, like a path as best as possible. So while you are under attack, you might be able to complete your mission. So this is something we call it like a real-time detection and real-time recovery. All those were possible using AI.
The drone is then capable of detecting an attack and able to counter attack or stay on mission at least.
The other part you're doing, this is like other way, that is if you're having like a control mechanism, is it machine learning based? Is it secure? That is, we are doing like also like many times, and we show that, and many people, other people have showed that this is vulnerable. If you understand how it is working, how this machine is behaving, this like a machine learning tool, you can get away from there. So we call it like adversarial machine learning, but we did it from a different point of view for cyber physical system. We showed a different group of critical systems are vulnerable. You think that you're using machine learning or AI to make things more efficient, but also you are bringing some vulnerability in it. You need to understand your attack resiliency. You need to understand how to make your system more protected against those attacks. So this is very important to know what AI can do, at the same time, how AI can be compromised.
I could see great need in a wartime situation, how that would work in the commercial sector, because, who would try to intercept a package delivery robot, for example?
For example, it is delivering maybe like iPhone. We're trying to put our foot very strongly in different fields, including AI, cybersecurity, and health. And we are really there. And AI, as I told you, you see that AI as a minor is a very good thought, I believe. You are having a degree in one particular engineering discipline. At the same time, you are having minor. What is AI ready graduate? The more we can have them in this world of emerging, the way the AI is everywhere, the more challenges are there, different ways there. So we need those AI ready students, graduates, who can tell what needs to be done, how it can be done, how it can be done properly. So I think we are there. We are using AI in many different fields, including, as I told you in the beginning, cloud monitoring, cloud management. We are trying to doing that, how AI can be a very good source of that. So everywhere we are seeing that AI has a very good application, and we are trying to get our food very solid way.
I saw this on your website. FIU is one of the most affordable schools, which is very important. People always know education has gotten ridiculously high.
And we are number one in social mobility. We are number one.
Really?
Yes, in the US, we are number one in social mobility. This is a very important part for us. We're really making change in people's lives.
Social mobility meaning compared to where their families came from to where they had their degree?
The level of cost they use during their academic amount of the expense and the money they get when they get this job, very good shape there. The ratio is very good.
And so would the return on investment be that?
It's very high.
Right? Very good. Professor, great talking to you. Have a good rest of the day, and I look forward to meeting again.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me here.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to FODES, the Future of Design and Engineering Software Show, brought to you by Eng Technica. I hope you have learned of a new application or technology that will help you with your job. If you have an application you think would be of interest to other engineers, please let me know by emailing me at rupinder@engtechnica.com or message me on LinkedIn.